Thank you for celebrating the art of resistance with the Center for the Study of Political Graphics. This has been a remarkably active and groundbreaking year for us. Our posters are currently on exhibit from coast to coast. The Skirball Art Center just opened Decades of Dissent, an exhibition of our California protest posters from the 1960s and 1970s. Our Zapata posters are in the downtown Central Library, and the University of California at Davis just opened an exhibition that we co-curated on Chicano silk screens from California, from 60s to the present. A CSPG poster called Dragonflight by Doug Minkler, last year's Art as a Hammer honoree, is the title piece of an exhibit at the William Grant Still Art Center on the transformative power of creating art in the face of the trauma of incarceration. At Columbia College Gallery in Chicago, our posters are featured in an exhibition on the art of social change. And in spring next year, we will premiere 2 exhibitions, woodcuts and stencils from the 2006 Oaxaca uprising will be in El Mercado La Paloma downtown, and the USC Fisher Gallery is creating an exhibition out of our archive of art made in response to violence. We've all heard of the glass ceiling. Many of us in this room have probably experienced it. But in the art world, this translates often to anonymous was a woman. And this is true in the poster world as well. But in the art world, there are 2 additional levels to this glass ceiling, beginning with the widely held conviction that posters are not art. If you look around this room, you know that's not true. The third glass ceiling that we confront is that New Yorkers are reluctant to acknowledge the cultural accomplishments of Los Angeles. But our posters have now made a crack in both of those ceilings. CSPG posters are right now in 2 important New York venues. The Museum of Modern Art, MoMA, is showing Now Dig This, Art in Black Los Angeles, 1960 to 1980. It was part of the Getty Pacific Standard Time project, and it's the only Pacific Standard Time project that is traveling. Also in New York, at the Robert Rauschenberg Foundation project space, our posters are displayed alongside works by Romare Bearden, George Siegel, Margaret Burke White, Alice Neal, and Robert Rauschenberg. We never doubted, but now even New Yorkers admit, protest posters are an important art form. In the long overdue recognition of our public significance, we finally received our very first federal grant. The National Historic Publications and Records Commission grant will facilitate access to the collection, and you'll hear about more of this from Mary Sutton later. We also received a 2-year grant from the James Irvine Foundation to develop Exhibitions to Go, a portable exhibition format using digital reproductions. This would enable our powerful graphics to reach places, including community centers and even outdoor festivals that lack the security or lighting conditions needed to protect the fragile vintage posters. Prison Nation, posters on the prison industrial complex, will be the prototype for Exhibitions to Go and will debut next year in the San Joaquin Valley and Inland Empire. Areas underserved by the arts, but overserved by California's expanding prison system. Thanks to Barbara Carrasco, former Art as a Hammer honoree and one of today's presenters, we participated in the America Tropical Interpretive Center, built to contextualize the infamously censored, groundbreaking anti-imperialist mural by David Alfaro Siqueiros on Olvera Street. It featured an Aztec and Peruvian warrior aiming at the U.S. Imperial Eagle perched on the cross of a crucified peasant. You can understand why it got censored. In a gift from the estate of Schiffer Goldman, our very first Art as a Hammer honoree, CSPG also uncovered a long-lost sketch by Sergio Ocadiz another highly neglected and often censored political muralist. In the center of Okadiz's 1974 sketch is the crucified peasant from Siqueiros' America Tropical. Below the peasant is a memorial to Ruben Salazar, the Chicano journalist murdered by an LA deputy sheriff in 1970 following the Chicano moratorium. El Movimiento knows who killed Salazar and why. He had been receiving death threats as a result of his investigative reporting on police abuse against the Black and Latino communities. But this case has never been solved, over 40 years ago, and the guilty go unpunished. As long as posters and murals about Salazar continue to be exhibited, new generations will continue to learn about this injustice. But the injustice to teach are countless, and I'm increasingly and profoundly disturbed by the lack of visual literacy in the country and especially in the youth. I do not think it is just budget cuts that are behind eliminating the arts from our public schools. Art is powerful. Art provokes thought and critical thinking. Our poster art is especially provocative and teaches history from the perspective of those who fought it from the bottom up, not as written by those who run the government or the corporate press. In this election year, when we are visually bombarded by posters and ads, it is important to clarify what the Center for the Study of Political Graphics does and what we collect. To most people, a political poster is synonymous with an electoral poster, voting for or against individuals, parties, and propositions. While we do have examples of this kind of poster, electoral posters are not the focus of the archive. The most important quality of the posters we collect is that they came out of the many movements for social change, were produced for the movements, and expressed the demands of those movements. The posters we collect hold the rulers accountable for their actions. Our posters have an authentic voice. They are not as interpreted by someone who didn't live through the times, or worse, someone who wants to rewrite history to discredit the times. The stories our posters tell are in the authentic words and images of the people who made them. Our exhibits are fully annotated to give viewers a contextual understanding of who made them and why. Only by knowing that history can we be informed, and information is empowering. A few years ago, a group of high school students saw a poster by Yolanda Lopez called "Who's the Illegal Alien Pilgrim?" with an Aztec warrior pointing his finger in the tradition of Montgomery Ward's famous "Uncle Sam wants you to join the U.S. Army." They thought it was a brand new poster made in response to the escalating anti-immigrant legislation. I told them to look at the date. It was made in 1978, way before they were born. Our posters document countless struggles for human rights and justice that have gone on for generations. They tell the histories and victories that are often forgotten or suppressed, and remind us that our actions can and must make a difference. The election next month may or may not be a turning point for this country. But no matter who wins, we will have a fight on our hands. We will have to fight to bring the troops home from wherever. We will have to fight to work to reverse climate change. To protect safe, legal, and accessible abortion. To promote LGBTQ rights. To support and expand the DREAM Act. I'm only going to do one more, because otherwise we could go on for a long while. The things we have to fight for. But last but not least, clearly, to prevent contamination of our air, water, and food. We must fight against well-financed and ideologically committed individuals and corporations who consistently put profits over people, private wealth over our commonwealth. And the most powerful tools for teaching and empowering people are the arts: music, theater, film, poetry, posters. Each of our amazing honorees tonight uses the arts in this critical and life-changing way. Andy Germano, through his posters, drawings, and cartoons, educated and inspired farm workers, many of whom couldn't read or write. Joan Steckler, through her documentary films, uses art to empower those struggling for their rights, while simultaneously informing the rest of us about their heroic victories and their efforts. In the case of the boron workers, their victory over a multinational corporation. Tom Morello's powerful music entertains while it educates, agitates, and inspires diverse audiences, whether for a sold-out concert, an outdoor festival, or the Occupy movement. And we are most fortunate that he will also perform tonight for us. Thank you. As long as the work of artists like tonight's honorees can be seen and heard, the stories of people working for justice will not be forgotten and will continue to inspire people to action. Creating a better world requires challenging the dominant corporate culture, the dominant corporate creative culture, and central to these efforts are the images and message in the political posters. With your support, CSBG will continue to honor people's histories and use the power of their art to educate ever-widening groups of people about the inspirational art that visually defines their struggles. Thank you.